Hello, I am Paula Bennett and welcome to my podcast, Ask Me Anything. I've gone through plenty of ups and downs in my life and have learned a lot along the way. But now that I've got a midlife crisis reinvention under my belt, I know it's never too late to learn something new. That's why on this podcast, I'm going to be talking to Kiwis from all walks of life to hear about how they got to where they are and get some advice and guidance on some of life's biggest questions. We have a bit of a different podcast for you today. I'm joined by two students from the Graeme Dingle Foundation program, Project K. I reckon teenagers generally get a bit of a bad rap, so I have these two fabulous young people with me today to talk through being a teenager in 2023 and give some advice on how us adults can better understand the young generation. Lichelle and Teina are with me. Welcome, guys.
Kia ora.
How are you? How are you today, Paula?
I'm very good, thank you. Bit of housekeeping to get out of the way. 2 rules for my podcast.
Awesome.
Right? Do you like rules?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I always used to break them. The first is I'm allowed to ask you anything, but you don't have to answer.
Oh.
And the second is that this is a safe space. And my daughter and I always called it a no judgy zone. So really, that's my only 2 rules. So it's quite easy. And then we just get to have a bit of a chat.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. All right. Ease us in. I've got some icebreaker questions. What sort of music do you listen to?
Usually I like listening to like reggae, but I also like listening to Māori music.
Oh, yeah. Have you been listening to that where they've remade a whole lot of the older New Zealand songs and the artists have sung them in Māori?
Oh yeah, like Stan Walker.
Yeah.
And the House of Shem.
Yeah, a few of them have, eh?
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And Lichelle, what about you?
I listen to like R&B. Like I listen to some Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of rap I listen to.
So what do you do for fun? What's kind of your perfect day out, if you could choose?
Usually just going to the beach with my mates, just popping some bombs, or just like hanging out with them anyways.
Does popping some bombs mean jumping in the water?
Yeah, jumping on the water.
Do I have to check? Okay. I've got it now. See, I might have been missing some great teen lingo that I'm out of touch with. What does your perfect day look like?
Me and all my friends, we go down to the wharf, just chill there, play a lot of music.
Do you, what was it? Drop some bombs?
Yeah.
Oh, we pop some manus.
Oh, so we got like basically the same day.
Yo, it's like...
Oh, that's cool. I love that. I love the water though too. Do you know what you want to do when you have to go and decide after school and I don't want to say when you grow up because you both seem pretty grown up to me already. Any ideas on what you might want to do later on in life?
I know there's a lot of opportunities out there. I just want to take them all in, but I'm not really too sure what I want to do in the future.
Yeah?
I want to be an archaeologist.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like, I've always loved like history all my life. Since I was like 5, it was like when I turned 5, just opened a book about Egypt, just loved it. And I've just like loved it since. And I've just been so into it.
I don't think we teach enough of our Māori history, New Zealand history at school.
Yeah,
Do you think?
we need more history about that because it's like dying out.
It's genealogy, our whakapapa.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. Now that we're warmed up, we're going to get a bit into it. I suppose this is where I make my confession that I was an absolutely naughty teenager.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really
Stroppy. I was so stroppy and pushed every boundary that I kind of could, which we do, right, in those years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So how old are you both?
I'm 15.
Yeah.
I'm 14.
Cool. Okay. And you've both come through Project K, is that right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So why did you enter Project K?
Well, I guess because I was quite a trouble kid last year. I used to get in trouble a lot of the time. Used to like not go to my classes or not pay attention enough. Mm-hmm. So one of my teachers, they got me to do this Project K thing. And I was pretty nervous at first, but once I got into it, I thought I found like my belonging.
Oh, that's very cool. We're going to talk a bit more about that. And what about yourself, Michelle?
Yeah, I was like naughty. I wouldn't go to class, never go to school. I was just like bad, honestly, really bad. And then, I think my dean called me up and I thought I was in trouble. I was so scared. And then he's like, oh, we got a good opportunity for you. And I was like, they're telling me about it and all that. And I was just like, it was like, sounded pretty cool. So I wanted to do it.
So tell us then about Project K. What is it?
Well, Project K is like something for troubled kids to like find their ground, find their reason. That's what I believe. And like, you also get to like meet new friends, meet new people, do new things. Like, it takes you out of your comfort zone to try something new.
Yeah.
It also teaches you how to be a leader instead of a follower. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, they must have seen so much promise in you to want to put you into the program and to give you those sorts of skills. Sure, you may have been a bit naughty, but hey, I was a bit naughty and ended up being the Deputy Prime Minister of this country. So what they also saw, obviously, is potential and a level of confidence. And if you could get that kind of backing and mentoring, I think that's really exciting. And that's kind of what you get from Project K. So how long have you both been in the program?
I was in there since last year.
Yeah.
I graduated with excellence. Project K. I know, dumb man.
That's so cool. Yeah. And just because they saw that potential in you, right? Yeah. And you stepped up and, as you say, you kind of found a
Like
place.
my place, yeah.
I love that. And Lichelle, how long have you been in it?
I started this year with Project K and we just had our graduation on Saturday.
Yes.
It was just like, I couldn't believe. And I
Yeah.
was like so surprised. I've done so much through Project K. It's helped me a lot with my confidence and all that. And I'm just like very surprised. Like, I've gotten through the year and like Project K's helped me a lot with it.
And how much do your friends, are they in Project K, or have you been able to influence them as well?
I've been able to influence some of my friends. I've been tutoring one of my friends to like do good in school, like with good grades. And I've just like been like getting a lot of influence from like older people.
Yeah.
Like on like what I could do better.
Good. And Lichelle, what about with you? So you've got NCEA next year, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're attending school more?
See, the problem is a few months ago, I had to sadly stop school because I was getting bullied and that, and I just couldn't handle it. And my school, it's just like recently taken me off the roll because I haven't been in so long. And so I'm trying to find like a course in that to try to go to school because I love school. And because I want to be an archaeologist so bad, that's like the number one thing I have to do is like my exams.
Yeah.
And so I've been looking into course and like, I've been missing school a lot. I love school so much.
But so that must have been really hard for you with the bullying, and
Yeah.
you just don't want to be there, right? If you don't feel safe, then you don't want to be at school.
I just didn't want to go to school after that. Just like sat at home. I still sit at home just trying to think like, how did it change like so quickly? Because the problems just escalated so quickly for me. I just didn't know what's happening at that point when it just got so like intense, all the problems at school. So then my mum just decided, I don't think it's like good because it wasn't good for my mental health either.
Yeah.
And it was just like, honestly, sometimes it was so hard because I used to be guilty for like just missing one day. And it just comes to a point when I just didn't want to go to school and I was so surprised.
So, Lichelle, is there anything that you think your school could have done differently, or that schools need to know that might have kept you there and kept you engaged and made you feel safe?
I feel like they just need to like understand what kids go through in our years. They need to have more like information about it so they can help us. And so they can also educate themselves about it.
Do you feel like your teachers or your principals could have actually done something differently that would have meant you'd stayed at school?
Yes, they could have, but it just wasn't the right time, I feel like, for them.
But you're a smart young woman that has just got everything going for you. And surely your school has a responsibility to you as well to try and keep you there, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that because, like, everyone should feel welcome, I feel like, at school. And it's like a place where if they're, like, intense at home, they could just come to school and be calm. School should be, like, 100% like a safe place for everyone, I feel like.
Does it feel like your school let you down?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
It let me down a lot about how they would deal with the problems with them. I was pretty like broken up about like how they dealt with these problems with me, because then I didn't get anything out of it. It was, they said they would be civil, all the people who were starting problems with me, but then next minute I get cornered up in a netball court and they're like surrounding me trying to beat me up, but then I got out. And I'm like grateful I got out because it was like pretty intense.
Yeah, it sounds really scary. Really scary.
It was even my first week at school because I just moved there because I had problems at my last school and I needed a new start. And it was like, wasn't even a full week at school. And then I get cornered up in a netball court, everyone wanting to beat me up. And I'm just like so confused what's happening because I didn't know anyone. And then next minute I just get targeted on like my 4th day at school. And I just didn't really go back really as much since.
Oh, well, we're going to find you a safe space and we're going to find you somewhere that you can learn and become the wonderful archaeologist that I think you can be. Hey, what about role models? What do you look for in a role model?
I look for their attributes and like what they can contribute to society. For example, what Fina Cooper did for us, how she started the Women's League for us, and how she visited hospitals, and how she like fed the community. And how also she went from up north to Wellington with a pamphlet to deliver to the government. I thought that was really special and I admire her. And that's who I look up to as like a Māori person as well.
Yeah. And she's awesome, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Trailblazing, phenomenal woman. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. What do you look for in a role model?
Role models for me, I think it's like respect. Number one thing for me is respect and empathy a lot for the role models I have.
That's good. No, that's absolutely fair. So you must have been really good to have Project K then this year with things going wrong at school, to have something that is supportive and understands you and doesn't judge you.
Yeah, because Project K is actually also helping me get into course because there's not really a lot of schools lately that I can get into right now. But I'm actually like really grateful for saying yes to Project K and going along with this program because it's helped me so much through like this whole year.
Yeah. And helped you in which way?
It's helped me realize like some of the decisions I've made weren't right, but I've learned from all of them. And it was just like, yeah.
It's quite funny because people often used to say to me, how did you turn your life around? Quite frankly, I've never really loved that saying. But one part of it was that one day in my later teens, I decided I couldn't change anything I'd done. What I could do is actually forgive myself for it and think about tomorrow and what I can do tomorrow better. Because otherwise you start feeling a bit guilty, right? And you start, and that can sort of mess you up a bit. So at some stage it's kind of like taking a breath and just going, you know what? I get to choose who I am tomorrow. Yeah? They're both nodding, everyone. It's fine. So do you think being a teenager today is different than it was 20 years ago or different than it is for your parents?
Yes.
Yes?
This is like how people deal with things our age now. It's completely different of how people, 20 years ago, used to treat it and like deal with all these problems. It's like changed a lot.
Yeah.
And style also changed.
How much is social media kind of an influence on you, or are you sort of constantly on your phones and constantly looking at sort of what's happening there and comments and all of that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
I don't use social media.
Ah, very, very wise.
Because social media, my influence on that is that like it takes away your time and attention on things that you need to do. Like, for example, if you want to go for a walk, when you open up your phone, you get that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
And you just can't help it, but like keep scrolling and keep scrolling.
But you must, not being at school, Lichelle, must be a bit lonely as well. So really having that access to friends via your phone and that sort of thing must be important to you.
Yeah, I'm always on my phone. Just wake up and I'll just have my phone. Just be scrolling on it nonstop. Because I'm so like, I'm always by myself at home because I don't go to school and all my siblings go. I'm just like stuck at home doing nothing. Get really bored a lot.
Was social media or even the sort of access via your phone, was that part of that bullying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was. Because people used to comment on videos I used to make on TikTok, bully me through there, or they'd text me just like randomly just saying I was talking about them, they want to come beat me up, telling me to watch my back even, and I was just like so confused half the time.
Yeah.
But then I just blocked them. I just decided to block them all because I don't need that in my life right now. I don't need that in my life. And so I just decided to block them all. Like,
It's so brave and so sensible, mate. Really, really well done. So what would make you happy? If you were thinking about what you want, what would make you happy for 2023?
I think is to get back into school.
Look at.
Because I miss school so much. I'm just so surprised, like, it got to this point where I stopped.
Yeah. It sounds to me like you've got some pretty awesome people around you that can help make that happen for you. Yeah. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break and then we're going to come back and we're going to get into the advice segment. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah.
Go. Back with our teenagers, Lichelle and Teina. Now we're going to get into some advice, which I am hoping will give great insight to parents and adults about teenagers and how we can really help them navigate this part of their life. Okay, you guys, what do you wish adults knew about teenagers?
How much teenagers have changed from their lifetime to the lifetime that we live in now. Mm-hmm. As we are in the digital age, we're like changes like everywhere.
Lichelle, what do you wish adults knew about teenagers?
I feel like I wish they could understand sometimes kids stress really easily. Everyone stresses. And I feel like sometimes they just need to understand that sometimes kids just need a hug and like a chat, like someone to vent to. And sometimes it can be hard talking to your parents about it because they have to look after your other siblings also. They have work and everything. And sometimes they don't always have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like sometimes they just need to understand to have a good like sit and talk with the kid. Just asking how they are, if they're okay. That's like a number one thing. I feel like everyone needs to know. If they have any problems, help them deal with it. Because you might have some life experiences that could also help them with their problems right now in life.
Yeah. So really it's about that talking to each other and trying to understand where each other's coming from.
Yeah.
Do you feel that adults judge teenagers?
Yeah, I feel like some people were brought up believing different things than others, and sometimes it's hard for parents to understand ways that we have now and how we do things now.
Yeah. And you sort of touched on it, Lichelle, but, what do you think that teenagers need from adults? They need people that will listen.
They need support, respect.
Yeah.
Teenagers, we all go through like different phases, like rebellious phases. That's like a big one. Sometimes you just get like very sad a lot and just rethink everything. And I feel like teenagers just need to like know that you might have ups and downs through like life as a teenager. But then when you're older, you're just going to reflect back on it and just like, you might even laugh about it, just like be surprised also.
So and my daughter's in her 30s now, so I'm allowed to talk about her. So when she used to throw an absolute wobbly at me because, I don't know, I was asking her to tidy her room or do something, and then she would literally go, leave me alone and march off and slam the door or even go out and without me even knowing where she was going, I could never work out whether I should be following her and getting, not so much in her face, but, going, hey, can we talk? Because she's overreacted, right? And you can overreact to a few things, let's be fair. Then you're like, leave me alone. But then you don't really mean leave me alone sometimes, do you? You mean, can you please take some time and be with me? And so as an adult, it's really hard to know how much you sort of let teens find their own way and how much you're there to guide and support and be with them.
I think really teenagers just really need guidance and support from their parents. I mean, it's okay to give them some space if they're feeling angry, but like it's also good to consolidate them. Mm-hmm. Just to, like, know that you're there for them and just to like see what type of progress they have made.
Sometimes when it gets like heated in a room, it's like good for everyone to just cool down and they just like restart, just like refresh like
Yeah.
the conversation, just make sure it goes okay, and just like understanding. Also, it's like understanding is a number one thing I feel like with parents and teenagers. They both need to understand from where they come from. How teenagers sometimes they'll be like judgy, I'd say, because I'm a very judgy teenager. Picky also. It's like sometimes like the differences between teenagers back then and teenagers now generation has changed so much.
Yeah, and people don't always recognise it, eh?
Yeah, not everyone recognises how much the generations have changed through all the years.
You're both incredibly bright, though, and really articulate. It's just, yeah, it's pretty awesome, I've got to say. Okay, is there a time, and we won't throw your parents under the bus here, but is there a time where you think they got it wrong? And is there a time when you think they got it really right in how they talked with you or something that they did?
Like, whenever I get in trouble, like, my dad usually just yells at me, and it's, like, pretty scary because it makes me nervous. But, like, if he did talk to me in a calm manner, then, like, I'd probably have a calm response and, like, be natural about it. But it's, like, when they, like, shout at you, then you get pretty scared, you don't know what to say.
Yeah. I must admit there was the odd time when my daughter would have done something wrong and be having a bit of an argument, and then she'll go, I want to talk, and I just go, I actually need to just take a breath for an hour because I'm really angry with you and I'd rather not have a shouting match. So how about we both take an hour and then we'll come back and then let's see if we can have a reasonable conversation about how naughty you've been. No. But is that better to take a little bit of time like that instead of it just sort of turning into shouting at each other?
Yeah, that's good. So everyone can cool down and just like, so everyone won't be like so mad when they talk and won't be as like yelling. And that's good if everyone's just like calm, no yelling. It's like good.
Can I give you a piece of my advice?
Oh, of course.
It's one I've taught my kids and I sort of had to learn it myself. And that is, if you have made a mistake, if you actually say sorry and you mean it, then that should be the end of it. And if the person doesn't take your apology, then actually now the problem's theirs. You know what I mean? Like, actually, if you own up and just go, I really made a mistake and I haven't even got an excuse for it, but I shouldn't have. You told me to be home at this time and I didn't, or, you know, I lied about something, then actually owning it means that, and I'd still do it now, right? Because I make mistakes, you know? And if I own it, then I always think, well, if you don't accept my apology, that's your problem now, not mine. Let's talk a bit about getting into trouble. Is it hard to avoid the temptations? You know, like you both have said you haven't been at school at different times. Was that the influence of others, or were you just not bothered and it didn't seem like anyone cared?
Well, I mean, I guess it was an influence for me from others, because I used to hang out with troublemakers. I used to like hang out with them because I thought they were cool back then. Just used to get in trouble with the teachers. And just used to do some really silly stuff. I thought they were like really good friends because they like showed brotherhood.
Yeah.
But like I also saw the down effects of that because they were like doing bad stuff.
Is there anything either your teachers or your parents could have said to you or done at that time that would have got you away from those others?
I think back then that it would have been pretty hard to like persuade me to like get them away from my friends because since they were like really close to me. But I'm not too sure. Maybe just back then I really just needed some guidance because I really thought that I was like out of space at that time. Like I wasn't really being me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose supporting you and understanding that you're going through it.
Yeah.
And then Project K's helped, right?
Yeah, of course. Project K's helped a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lichelle, what do you think? How can we help other teens avoid that kind of temptations of getting into trouble?
Try not hang out with people who will have a bad influence, but sometimes it's hard because you feel they've got your back, but sometimes the decisions they make will be hard, and then sometimes you want to try fit in, so you do it as well.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would always do. I would join in for what they do, just to try fit in, because sometimes I just felt like sometimes left out. I just feel like different sometimes. That's why I would always try to do what they do. try to do things that you like doing. Like, it's good to try new things. Yeah, you might make a mistake by doing something bad, but it's good to learn from it also. Learn from the mistakes you've had, and then just like have goals on trying to make it better and try like reach your goals, I feel like.
And I'll tell you what, I always think the best thing about New Zealand, one of them, is that it'll always give you a second chance, and it'll always give you a third chance. Like, you're going to get a second chance at education, Lichelle. I just know that. And you're going to absolutely thrive in it because it's awesome. I sort of touched on a little bit with my own daughter, but I think one of the hardest things about raising teens, from my perspective, is that you guys want freedom, you know, and you're exploring and you want to go and do what you want to go. And yeah, I'm your parent, and I care and love. And so for that, I'm trying to put in some boundaries to keep you safe. I just find, how do we manage as parents giving you some freedoms and hoping that you might actually obey some of the rules we try and put in place as well? Is there a way we can communicate better?
Maybe it's just like put in a curfew when you want your child to be home, just so that you know they're safe, and like so they don't get into trouble. Like, for example, say they can go after they like do chores, and then they got to be home at a certain time, like before night time, just so they don't really get into trouble with people. Like, for example, ram raids are caused by like our youth. Yeah, it could like be one of your children that could have been in one of those cars.
So when mine didn't come home when she was supposed to, I literally went out in my pajamas looking for her and found her because I knew where she'd be, and completely embarrassed her. And she tells me now that was one of the most embarrassing things. But I was like, well, we had really clear rules, and it was the third time that you'd broken that rule. So I'm always going to come and find you because I love you and I want you to be home and safe. And that's a deal we made. So should your parents embarrass you like that? The fact I was in my pajamas was what embarrassed her the most.
Well, I mean, if you break rules from your parents, then I guess it's all right. Because, I mean, your parents do love and care about you. They worry about you. And if you don't know, but they do love you. So that's why they, like, take time out of their daily activities to come and hunt you. Just to know that you're safe and you're awesome. And, like, but it's also because they worry. And
not getting too influenced by some of those really kids that are way off and doing some potentially really bad things. Do you like rules, Lichelle?
No.
No.
I don't like rules. I usually go my way. That's what I always say. But sometimes I will follow the rules. If I want to get places in life, I'll listen to the rules so I can get there and reach my goal.
Yeah.
But sometimes there'll be rules like, oh, you can't touch this. I can't stop myself. I will have to touch it. If someone says don't touch this, I'll have to touch it. Yeah. It's like one of the like main rules.
Do you think understanding the rule, that why it's there, might make, like that's about respect, right? So you're not putting a rule in just for the sake of it because I'm an adult and I can. You're actually putting in a rule because we think it keeps you safe and... Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes I like going rogue, go crazy. Just don't listen to rules sometimes.
Well, I think we've all done that the odd time, haven't we? Yeah. So that's when maybe the next day is the one where we say sorry and then we get back on track and we go again. All right. What's the main piece of advice for adults when it comes to dealing with and understanding teenagers? It's a big one, eh? How would you feel if I looked at your social media or looked at your phone? Adults shouldn't do that, eh?
I'd be like, that's an invasion of my privacy.
Back to respect, eh?
Yeah.
A little bit of mutual respect, I think. Yeah, I would never do that, by the way. Mainly for that very reason, that I think there is a level of mutual respect and privacy and that sort of thing as well. But have you thought of anything? Is there that main piece of advice that you'd give to adults out there that are raising teenagers?
Maybe if your kids wants to talk, listen to them and understand what they're saying and where they're coming from what they're saying. I feel like, and spending time. Because sometimes the kids might not show. They want to spend time with you because they want to have more bonding time with you. And it's always good to like take your child out, treat them, treat yourself. I feel like that's a good one.
I like it. You're nodding, Teina, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with it.
Yeah, you agree, eh? Okay. All right, Lichelle and Teina, this podcast is called Ask Me Anything. And so far, I've pretty much done all the asking. So this is a moment when you get to ask me a question if you want to.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
What was your early life like back in the day? What did you do as teenagers?
Well, we didn't have phones, so there was none of that. We do movies and things like that, but we went to the beach and hung out, probably like you guys. Definitely, and I'm still friends, really good friends, with two of the guys that I grew up with because I grew up in a reasonably small village. Oh. And so we were talking about it the other day, and that we used to, we'd rocks that we'd go and climb up and jump off into the lake. We were all into outdoorsy, and we got in trouble, right? We were kind of naughty, and we were a bit bored, and so, you know, we might have terrorised the neighbourhood a little bit, and we sort of thought we were a bit of a gang.
But I think back then that you guys were just don't know, you guys were just having fun, eh?
We were just having fun, and we were lucky in that it was a relatively small village, and so everyone, all the adults bossed everybody around, and so you didn't get away with much. But in some respects, we had more freedoms than you guys. We'd literally go out on motorbikes, and we were driving at really young ages, and so we had a lot of freedoms in that way. And the others, we were quite restricted, and they sort of had a rule in my village that any adult could tell any teenager off. So you just, not even your own parents, like literally, you know, I see you, Paula Bennett. I see you smoking behind the bike shed. I'm telling your parents. And you'd be like, oh, I just got caught, you know. So we probably did normal naughty stuff, but it did feel like literally everybody kind of looked out for you a bit as well. Is there anything you want to ask me?
If you got in problems, like how I was saying, how I used to deal with it, how did you guys used to deal with it when you were younger?
Well, when you were talking and I was just thinking, God, I was a horrible teenager. Well, my own daughter used to say to me, get a life. Like that was the thing she used to say to me the most often as she sort of, you know, stormed past. And I know when I was a teen myself that my mum might try and reach out to me, and I just think, well, I don't think you really do want to. And so I just almost sort of shut myself away more. And so I was probably very hard to communicate with. And I look back now and I just think, well, I definitely could have made it a bit easier for them. But I didn't feel understood.
I think that's like how most teenagers feel today as well.
Yeah.
They don't feel like understood.
Well, I think the biggest lesson I've learned from today is that you do want more time and you do want to be listened to, and that we could probably all learn to reach out a little bit and make that time and make that safe space for our teens and the people we love.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
How did you like go from just being a troublemaker to being like the deputy prime minister?
Well, it was a long time, and I kept making mistakes, right? So it wasn't one day when it all miraculously changed and, you know, off I went. I went back to school later. So school didn't work for me. And so it was a bit later, like you're doing it far earlier than I did, Lichelle, and that I learnt the lesson that actually I needed an education if I wanted to achieve some of my goals. And I wanted a better life, right? I wanted some money. I didn't want to be struggling all my life. And so for me, it was step by step. And so went to university, but I went when I was in my mid-20s. And then I had to go and do a course beforehand to actually be able to get in because I hadn't finished school. So I think that education was a really, really big part of it. But it didn't work for me first time round. And that's what I'm saying to you. You'll get a second chance. You'll get a third chance. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be perfect. And how boring if everybody was, right? Just don't break the law. I mean it, because that ruins your life.
It does.
Yeah.
You get like, because then it can actually make you lose opportunities you could have had.
You can't go to Egypt if you break the law.
Yeah.
And we want you out there digging up under those pyramids. So just don't break the law and don't take drugs. I mean, you all sort it all out yourselves and there's great people around, but Okay, Lichelle and Teina, thank you very much for your time today and your honesty. I think you've given some real insights into the teenage mind and particularly teenagers of your generation. It's been absolutely great. You guys have been seriously awesome. And that's it for another episode of Ask Me Anything. You can get in touch with me by emailing askpaula@nzherald.co.nz. Please feel free to send me through your questions for the podcast or any thoughts you have. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram or LinkedIn. Make sure you follow Ask Me Anything on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also read my weekly column in the Herald on Sunday. I'm Paula Bennett. Ask Me Anything. Goodbye.